guys, it's Amy from Nail Polish Baby 90 and welcome to today's video. I'm here with Harry Potter Chit Chat Part 4. If you haven't seen any of these before, it's where I talk about nail polishes that are themed off of Harry Potter and have a vast amount these days, I will tell you that. And we talk about how I feel they connect to the books, we talk about the books, we talk about the films, talk about the characters, and we just talk about Polish and Potter together. If you haven't seen the other three, I will link the playlist down below, and the most recent video I also did was in the Magical Spells collection by Glam Polish, so if you want to hop over and watch that as well, I probably should add it to the playlist. But for now, we're going to talk about some Potter polishes. Okay, and as I promised, before we get into the polish, I said that I was going to do the house test and find out what Hogwarts house I was in, because so many of you, I love it, you always tell me what houses you're in the comments, and I never took the test, mainly because I knew the outcome, I guess, deep down, and it was what I suspected. I'm a Slytherin. It's happened, it's fine, we're going to deal with it. I always had thought that maybe I'd be Gryffindor, maybe I'd be Slytherin, I wasn't really sure. But once I did the test, and I was a bit like, oh, okay, right, I was kind of a bit like Harry, like not Slytherin, not Slytherin, not Slytherin. But the traits of it actually I do feel like suit me. So Slytherins tend to be a bit ambitious, shrewd, cunning, strong leaders and achievement orientated. They have high developed senses of self-preservation. This means that Slytherins tend to hesitate before acting, so as to weigh up all potential outcomes before they decide exactly what they're going to do. So parts of those things I can really actually go with. And I also, Snape was a Slytherin and he turned out to be a good guy in the end. So we're all fine. Like I say, I kind of took, and also there was a bit I saw that was about being intelligent, yeah, obviously the cunning, resourceful, ambitious, and I can kind of see where that, all of that sort of stuff comes into play with me. So yeah, I'm a Slytherin, don't hate me for it. And onto the polishes. The first couple that we have, we're going to do them by brand, is we have 3 by Night Owl Lacquer. The first one is called the Battle of Hogwarts, and this is beautiful. This was released in Polish pickup, and it is this stunning green, olive green with a green flash, and then there's multi-coloured, rainbow coloured flakies in here. Now this is inspired from the scene in the, I guess, the 8th film and the 7th book where they do have the Battle of Hogwarts, and I guess the green, it kind of had, there's a lot of green in the imagery of the films, and all of the flakies are all, I guess, all of the zaps and the powers and all the spells going off in the background. So it's kind of like almost like a bit of a firework display with all of the lights and beams going off. So I can see how this would work really well as Battle of Hogwarts. And I always kind of think, when we think of the battle, I kind of think of the greenness of it, maybe because there's so much green associated with like Voldemort himself, and Avada Kedavra is always depicted as being green, and we have the snake. Like, I think there's a lot of green influences. So I really like that one, and yeah, another one by Night Owl Lacquer. They've got a few, as we're going to discuss, that are Harry Potter. The next one that we have is Always, and a lot of brands have done Always polishes in their collections, and I think 2 out of 3 of them that I've got have been kind of darkish colours. So this is a very dark purple base, and then there is a ton of little tiny flakies. They're the smallest type of little flakies that you can see there. There's also a little bit of a silver flash to it. Do I think this one suits the Always? I guess if we're thinking that Always kind of goes with Snape, Snape is normally a darkish colour to me, and I like the fleckles and the flash is of like I can kind of see it. I don't know, with some of these it's a bit ambiguous. It's like my personal opinion on what I think. So some of you guys will, as I've said in all of these videos, will look at the polishes and be like, yeah, that's 100% the meaning of it, but it can be whatever you want it to be. My definition of what an Always polish should be won't be what yours is. So I'm not sure if this is my favourite out of the ones that I've got, like when it connects to the meanings, but it's a pretty polish. And the last one is What's Fluffy Guarding, which is kind of like a brick red jelly base with a ton of red shimmer in flashes in there. I really like this one. This is obviously set in the first film, Philosopher's Stone, where Fluffy is guarding something up on the floor, and I think the red actually suits this really well, maybe because the Philosopher's Stone is red and like danger is red. I think that all together works really well, and I guess this being red for Fluffy, if you want to do a Fluffy polish you might not do red, but the idea of what is Fluffy guarding, she's guarding the red Philosopher's Stone, danger, all of those things together, I think this works really well. I have one from a Lac Attack, and this is called Mad Eye. I've spoken a few times about the Lac Attack collections. This brand doesn't exist anymore, so I apologise that I'm teasing you. But Mad Eye in their incarnation is a clear base with bright blue and black glitters in hexes and bar glitters. I think this one works really well. I think that I can kind of see him as quite like a mechanical creature, because you've got creature person, because you've got the fake leg and the eye. So I think that this kind of like disjointed, choppy glitter topper aspect works really well with him, because like I say, I feel if he's kind of like a mechanically creature and quite a sharp character, so he would definitely be something along these lines. If I was going to make a polish, I probably would do something involving like some chunky glitter aspect of it. All the glitters are matte as well, so it's not shiny, it's just this matte glitter topper. So that one was Mad Eye by Lac Attack. Onto the volumes of Pahlish polishes that I have. The first ones we have are the Deathly Hallows Trio. So the first one here we have is the Invisibility Cloak, and this is in their version is depicted as this very, very light silvery lilac purple polish. It's made up of a ton of flakies in a jelly base, and I think that that kind of works with the kind of looseness, fluidity that we kind of get in. It's implied that it's a very loose, I kind of always think it's like a velvety material in my mind, and in some of the I think maybe when we first see it in the first film, they kind of show it as a kind of like this, like I say, it's loose, fluidy, metallic-y kind of look to it, and I think that's kind of how it's described in one of the books as well. So yeah, I think this works really well. I think that it kind of goes with what I think of the Invisibility Cloak. So this one's going to get a good thumbs up from me as well. Elder Wand is a super shifty multi-chrome. It's mainly a blue purple tingy multi-chrome, and I think that multi-chromes work really well. I said this in the Magical Spells review video, that multi-chromes and polishes with Harry Potter, it just works really well. Something about multi-chrome is just really magical, and the shiftiness of it. It works really well, and I think other than doing like a brown colour for literally a wooden wand, I think this is the best way to get around that sort of thing. So again, another one that I really approve of. That one was Elder Wand. Last but not least, in this trio we have a Resurrection Stone, which is like the nail on the head. This is mainly a green polish with again some multi-chrome in it, and I feel like in the films and the books it's shown as like this greenish, dark greenish stone. I could be wrong, because I feel like sometimes I think it's really dark green and sometimes I feel like it's black, and sometimes I think I get a bit muddled because the way that things are in the books is not always how they're in the films. So sometimes I'm like, is it in the film that they say that or in the book that they say that? I can't remember. But anyway, I think this one worked really well. In my mind, the Resurrection Stone is a little bit green, and therefore this green polish works really well. Again, with the multi-chrome, it makes this kind of magical effect. So again, another great one. One of the house colours by Pahlish, and this is Hufflepuff, and this is a really beautiful colour because I do think it matches the Hufflepuff colour really nicely, where it's almost a bit of a mustardy yellow, bright but mustardy. I think that works really well, and then it does have a ton of flakies in here that makes it kind of like the mix it in, because I think with like, is it silver or what is Hufflepuff? It's got the badger on the front, but I can't think what colour goes with it. It's really going to bug me. I probably should Google it. It's like the badger, and then there's kind of like a gunmetal surrounding on the pictures that have come up. So it goes really well. It kind of gives this like, yeah, like a metallic-y metal effect to it in amongst it. And I think all of the ones by Pahlish for house colours were flakies in jelly bases, I'm pretty sure. So another one, a great one, an easier one to do. The house colours are definitely easier to do because you have a physical colour reference to match. The last one by Pahlish this month is The Boy Who Lived, and again this one is completely subjective, but I love this polish. I can't say whether it works very well with The Boy Who Lived on it. It's a very interesting mix where it's this purple base with such a strong blue, there's a blue shimmery to it, there's blue glitters in here, there's blue like shimmer, and the blue and the purple together just really mixes together in a very unusual, well, I don't know, like you would think that blue and purple would go together, but I've never seen blue and purple in a polish like this before. So it's a really stunning polish. You can decide on whether you think it fits The Boy Who Lived like appropriately. The Boy Who Lives that I have are more like lightning bolt themed, more like for the scar of Harry, whereas this one's obviously a bit different than that. I have one from Moonshine Manny, and this one is the Department of Mysteries, and this is from the scene in the Order of the Phoenix, where they go in and to the Department of Mysteries, and all the premonitions and the orbs are all on there, and then they start to have a battle, and there's lots of blue, and the blue reflecting off of the orbs, and everything makes this very blue effect. So this is a blue jelly base, and then there is blue glitters in here. The glitters are all quite round as well, so that matches kind of the visual reference that we are shown and depicted. So a great match And the last two are the Glam Polish duo, which they released in November. The first one is for McGonagall, and is I always wanted to use that spell. Perfect quote from McGonagall, one of the most iconic in the Harry Potter system, and it's a purple jelly base with a ton of flakies in here. The flakies are large and they are in charge, and they are just mainly jewel tones. There's lots of green in here and purple and a little bit of like a pinky colour too, and I really think this fits McGonagall really well. To me, she is very dark. All of the colours that she wears are very dark and rich. She's very like season appropriate for the autumn, where everything is she's either in dark greens or like purples, dark but just really rich, and I think this colour just matches it really well because, like I say, it's kind of the clothes that we see her wearing. And the last one is It's a Curious Thing, which is obviously for Dumbledore, and this is predominantly lots of hollow and lots of flakies. There's also a little bit of a pinky flash to it in a silver base. Do I think of silver with Dumbledore? Yes, because you do get this, again, it's like the white hair and the white beard reference to it, so I do get that aspect of it, and he's an older gentleman, so it all goes together with the silver very nicely. Although I do also have a Dumbledore polish which is more of like an indigo colour, and I think that one works really well as well. So you can do probably Dumbledore a few different ways. So It's a Curious Thing is a short lot of a long, like the short version of a long quote. So let me see, I did have it all prepped and ready for you. Can you believe that? Here it is. So the long quote from Dumbledore from this is, "It's a curious thing, Harry, but perhaps those who are best suited to power are those who should never sought it. Those like you have leadership thrust upon them and take up the mantle because they must, and find to their own surprise that they wear it well." So that's a very good. Dumbledore has so many quotes. I think some of the best quotes that come from the Harry Potter series are things that Dumbledore says. I guess the role that he's in the films is that he is always meant to be very inspiring and teaching and motivating to Harry and making him not feel like they're in a dark time, which at times during the films they really are in a dark place. So again, I like that one a lot, and I really like the quote. That's all the polishes we have to talk about today. Just wanted to say, last time when I did one of these videos, we had seen a few pictures from Fantastic Beasts, the new one that's coming out in November, and we've now seen the trailer, and I am just so in love with it. I still think that Jude Law as Dumbledore is going to be perfect and amazing, and I can't wait to see like that in action. I think it's going to be so good. It comes out around my birthday, so I know what my birthday treat's going to be this year. So let me know down below what you think of Harry Potter, the polishes. Let me know anything you want to chat about Potter related down below, and I will see you soon with another one. Bye.